Shanyang transforms into a flock of crows that attack the soldiers. When they shield themselves together, the Rurans use this against them by hurling fireballs at them with a catapult, severely taking out many of them. The movie begins with a former soldier, Zhou, narrating the story of his daughter, Mulan, as the sun rises over imperial China. He says that since Mulan was a child, she was always fearless and heads into trouble. She even chases a chicken throughout the village, where she accidentally breaks the wing of a phoenix statue. She also runs across the rooftops, but when one of the tiles slips, it causes her to fall. However, she catches her balance and lands safely. Later, her mother, Li, talks to Zhou about Mulan's behavior. She says that she is trying to protect Mulan and that Zhou keeps making excuses. She reminds him not to forget that Mulan is a daughter, not a son. She tells him that she worries because a daughter will not bring honor to the family as a wife and that her sister, Shu, will be more of a viable wife. However, Zhou says that any man will be fortunate to marry either of their daughters, including Mulan. After that, Zhou tells Mulan about the legend of the phoenix, which is meant to be the emperor's guardian. He also acknowledges that she has a strong qi but thinks qi is for men only. So he says that she will soon be a young woman, and it is time for her to hide her gift and silence its voice. He explains to her that he is telling her this to protect her. He also claims that he is confident that she will somehow find a way to bring honor to her family. A year later, a witch named Shanyang kills and assumes another man's identity near an imperial garrison on the Silk Road in northwest China. A team of Ruran soldiers led by Bori Khan soon stormed into the fort, killing several men and terrorizing other citizens. They then inform the emperor that 6 of their northern garrisons along the Silk Road have fallen in a coordinated attack, and that all their trades have been disrupted. When the emperor asks who is responsible for the attacks, they say that the Rurans are making their way toward the imperial palace. The emperor says he had already killed Bori Khan in a battle many years ago. Still, his chancellor says that his son united the tribes and resurrected the Ruran army. The lone soldier who survived informs the emperor that Khan is fighting alongside a woman whose qi is beyond imagining. The chancellor then says it is forbidden to use the qi destructively, yet, the soldier says she uses her power to lead the Ruran army to victory. He adds that she has trained an elite force of shadow warriors to assist Khan. In response, the emperor says they're not afraid of dark magic and will destroy the Ruran army and their witch. Shortly after, he tells his decree that they will build a mighty army. He orders that every family in China send their most robust sons to protect the people and crush the murderers. After that, it reveals that the soldier is the witch in disguise. Meanwhile, Khan sets up camp with the soldiers in Shanyang. Shanyang then tells Khan that the emperor is deploying an imperial army to defend the Silk Road. Although she knows she possesses more power than he ever will, she claims she is subservient to him. She tells Khan that she can tear him to pieces before he blinks. However, Khan says that she will not do it because if not for Khan, she would not get what she wants, which is a place where her powers will not be vilified, and she will be accepted for who she is. Khan says that he wants revenge against the emperor for his father's death and the downfall of the whole Ruran army and believes nobody will stand in his way. Later, Mulan is riding their family horse, Black Wind, running alongside 2 rabbits. When she gets home, she immediately shares this experience with her family, who are eating. Lu then interrupts her and says that the matchmaker has found her an auspicious match. Despite her not being happy about it, Zhou says it is their decision because it is what is best for their family, leaving her with no choice but to accept it. After receiving a makeover, the sisters visit the matchmaker. While the matchmaker speaks about Mulan's traits and how the sisters should act once they find their husbands, a spider comes down from the ceiling. Mulan tries to hide it by covering it with a teapot. Still, the matchmaker insists that the teapot remains in the center of the table. When the matchmaker tells her to put the teapot back at the center of the table, the spider pops out again and freaks Shu out, causing her to flip the table over. Mulan catches the cups and teapot until her hair comes undone and covers her face, causing her to drop and shatter everything. The matchmaker chastises the family shortly after claiming they failed to raise a proper daughter, which dishonors the Hua family. As the family starts walking back home, an emissary from the emperor arrives to inform them that they are under attack from northern invaders. They then say that by the edict of the emperor, every family must contribute 1 man to fight. Then, he starts calling the families one by one. When Mulan's family is called, Zhou leaves his cane and presents himself, saying that he served the imperial army in the last battle against the northern invaders. However, the emissary questions whether he has a son old enough to fight, to which he says he has 2 daughters. When he is about to accept the scroll, he falls before the village. Mulan attempts to help, but Li tells her she will humiliate her father further. Later during dinner, Li tells Zhou that he is a war hero and has made significant sacrifices. Mulan tries to argue why Zhou should not go into battle. Still, he is adamant that his duty as a man is to follow orders, fight, and bring honor to their family on the battlefield. After dinner, Mulan watches Zhou trying to wield his sword but is too frail to do so. Knowing she can't let Zhou risk his life, she takes Zhou's sword and armor and then rides away on their family horse to join the Chinese army. In the morning, Mulan's family discovers she has taken the sword and the armor. Her family starts to worry that if the Rurans do not kill her first, the Chinese army will once they discover she is lying. Zhou then asks the phoenix statue to watch over her. In the meantime, Mulan and her horse travel a great distance, but she needs help finding her way to the army camp. Then, the phoenix appears and guides her, leading her to the other soldiers. While in line to check in, a giant soldier taunts a miniature soldier, and she is knocked down in the scuffle. Another soldier tries to help her up mockingly, and she draws her sword on him, who does the same. Then, Commander Tung stops them and tells them that fighting is forbidden. Mulan introduces herself to him as Hua Jun, and he orders her to fall back in line. The soldiers then begin their training, including the rigorous challenge of carrying buckets of water with their arms stretched out to the top of a large hill. One soldier who is caught cheating is expelled from the army. Then, Mulan shows off her skills, showing the soldiers what she is capable of. At the same time, Khan gathers his men in his tent to discuss their battle plan. The soldiers don't care for vast riches but more for the power and revenge that Khan is after. He promises to give them revenge for the land they lost to the Empire, for the shame of the last war, and for his father. After that, Khan and Shanyang converse, and Shanyang tells him that she knows she is her slave. Khan then spots another nearby garrison and orders Shanyang to destroy it. Then, they make plans to attack, which they execute in the morning and kill more soldiers. Not long after, Commander Tung calls Mulan into his tent, noting the use of her qi and saying that his own qi is vital too. He thinks that she is holding back due to Zhou's legacy since he fought alongside him before. Mulan later goes back to the lake to try and practice balancing her qi. After more intense training, she completes the challenge up the hill before anyone else, which amazes all the other soldiers. However, Mulan feels dishonest when repeating the 3 virtues engraved on her father's sword: loyal, brave, and true. She then returns to Commander Tung's tent, intending to reveal herself. Still, he thinks she is nervous because they are heading into battle against the Rurans the next day. Commander Tung also suggests that when the war is over, he would like to introduce her to his daughter. Later, Mulan spends time around the fireplace with her fellow soldiers to inspire them. The following day, the soldiers gather as the Rurans approach. They battle with a small team of Rurans, taking out the charging Chinese soldiers except for Mulan. Although she manages to kill some Rurans, she is found by Shanyang, who knows that she is lying. After a brief fight, Mulan escapes her clutches after a brief fight and then decides to follow her words. She then undoes her armor and lets her hair down. Then, she returns to the battle more vital and more capable. On the other hand, Shanyang transforms into a flock of crows that attack the soldiers. When they shield themselves together, the Rurans use this against them by hurling fireballs at them with a catapult, severely taking out many of them. Thinking quickly, Mulan rides her horse around the Rurans and tricks them into thinking the soldiers snuck up behind them by using their helmets mounted on spears. The Rurans launch a fireball in that direction only to hit a mountain and cause an avalanche. Later, the Rurans are wiped out, while the remaining soldiers barely make it out alive. After the snow has settled, Mulan returns to camp and rescues Chen Hongwei, a soldier she befriended in camp. She then emerges to reveal herself to the soldiers as a woman. Commander Tung expels her from the army, but she says she would rather die than return home in disgrace. Still, he orders her to leave. On her way home, she breaks down until Shanyang arrives to taunt her. She tells Mulan that she did once want to take the noble path, but her exile and ridicule from others led her down the dark one. She tries to get Mulan to join forces. She tells her that Khan is heading toward the imperial city to kill the emperor and not heading down the Silk Road, as Commander Tung believes. Their conversation encourages Mulan to head back to warn the soldiers. She catches up to them on their path and tells Commander Tung about Khan's actual plans. Although Commander Tung is not ready to listen to someone who lied to him, the other soldiers believe in Mulan. Meanwhile, Shanyang makes it to the imperial city by assuming the guise of the emperor's chancellor and claiming that Khan wants to challenge him to a duel personally. The emperor obliges and heads out to fight. On the other hand, Mulan leads the soldiers into the imperial city by attacking the Rurans. Commander Tung orders the soldiers to fight but to guard Mulan, so she makes it to the emperor. At the same time, the emperor fights off some Rurans before ultimately ambushed by Khan and his men, leading to his capture. Shortly after, Mulan makes it to the palace but only finds Shan Yang. Although Shan Yang thinks it is too late for her, she assures her that she still has a chance to make things right. She asks her to help lead her to the emperor, but Shan Yang morphs into a hawk and flies away, only for Mulan to follow. Later, Shan Yang makes it back to Khan and tells him that a warrior woman is leading the Chinese army and that she will come for him. Knowing Shan Yang deliberately led Mulan to him, Khan fires an arrow at Mulan. Still, Shan Yang flies in and takes the arrow in the back. Mulan catches her as she returns to her human form and dies. Mulan then finds Khan and the Emperor atop a construct, where he plans to burn the Emperor alive. She attempts to fight him with her sword but loses it when it falls into molten lead. However, with the help of the Phoenix, Mulan regains her chi and continues to battle Khan. They jump onto a platform, where Khan nearly causes Mulan to lose balance and fall, but she gains the upper hand, takes his sword, and cuts the rope to sever the platform and send him falling. As she goes to free the Emperor, Khan attempts to kill him with an arrow. Still, the Emperor catches it and gives it to Mulan, who fires back into Khan's chest, finally killing him. A celebration is held for Mulan's victory. The Emperor offers him a position as an imperial guard in his army. Still, while Mulan is very grateful for the offer, she feels she has been away from her family for too long. The Emperor respects her decision as he feels devotion to family as a significant virtue. Later, Mulan returns to her village to find everyone astonished at her return. Shu is with the matchmaker, but she stops when she learns that Mulan has returned. Mulan embraces her and leaves before Zhou steps out. She apologizes for going against him and losing the sword, but Zhou says that she is the most important thing to him, and they embrace. Soon, Commander Tung arrives with other soldiers to inform Mulan's family and the rest of the village about her hand in saving the Emperor and the imperial city. It then leads everyone to cheer and the matchmaker to faint. Commander Tung then presents Mulan with a new sword with the same 3 virtues as before. He says that the Emperor insists Mulan reconsider her choice to join his army. As Mulan looks up to the sky, she sees the Phoenix again. The movie ends with Zhou closing the narration by saying that his daughter would become a legend. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this to help the channel out. Have a nice day.